Welcome everybody. All right, let's go ahead and let's spawn our game here. So we'll go ahead and create a game, and we want to make sure that it's for iPhone, Swift, and SpriteKit, and we'll say that this is ball spawn then collect for iPhone, and I have a production number here that I'd like to put in there. All right, and you can go ahead and change that once you add in your once you go ahead and upload it to the App Store. So let's go ahead and let's run this. And you want to make sure that you run it before you actually go and start your game. So I'm going to go into gamescene.swift, and while it's running, I'm going to close everything off here. So let's see if this works, and it should work. Sometimes the simulator does crash, and sometimes the first time you open the simulator, it does take a bit of time. So we have a wonderful little spaceship that does its thing, and there you go. So let's go and let's delete all of our unnecessary code, and let's add in all of the necessary code. So I'm just going to go and delete the comments and pretty much delete everything here. Now this is what your game scene should look like. Just keep it like this for now. And hop below SpriteKit and we'll start adding in our items here. So we'll say, first of all, we'll add in a var, we'll call this block. Make that equal to sk sprite node, and then we'll add in a var floor and make that equal to sk sprite node. All right, and then we're going to add in what we can do is we can also add in our size. So we can say var block size is equal to cg size, and we're going to go and we're going to make it a specific size here. And the thing about this here is that when you spawn a block, right, you're going to give it a size, and we're going to give it obviously a width and a height here. And the width and height can be something like 130 by 130. Okay, we can always change that later if we wish, but essentially that's what it is. Now the floor will go ahead and we'll make it, and we'll set it up because we're going to set up the floor using rectangles, CG rectangles, and the CG rectangles, you can't use them outside the class here. So let's go ahead and let's set up our labels here. So we'll make it equal to sk label node, and then var lbl score is equal to sk label node. Okay, save it if you haven't already done so. And what we'll do is we'll add in a block color. And you see that there's an error here, by the way. It's because there's no space. Swift is very picky about its spaces. And it's picky because the semicolon is optional. All right, so we'll add in var block color is equal to UI color, and we'll set that up when we need to. All right, and then we're going to add in some game state variables. We'll call this is spawning is equal to true. We'll add in a var called is collecting. Make that equal to false. All right, so these game state variables are really important. For example, if we were making a Mario game, you might have a game state variable that says is invincible, has big mushroom, has fire flower. You end up using a lot of these variables, and it's very common for that to happen. Okay, so it's very common to have lots of these. Okay, so let's add another variable called can complete, and these will become apparent once we go throughout the project here. And then we're just going to add in a logic var here. And usually when you add in a logic var, this is going to have to deal with an if statement on whether you can repeat something. So we'll take a look at that here, okay? And what we'll do is we'll add in a base color, make this a CG float. And so if you want to, for example, add in a gray color, you can make a CG float and make it equal to 0.5. And that way, when you select your UI color, you can just add in the base color, okay? So let's add in the off-white and off-black color. So we'll add in the off-white color, make that equal to UI color, and we'll make it 0.95. And I'm just pushing tab to go in between here. And you want the alpha to be 1.0. So 0.95 gives you a nice off-white color. You can also do 0.98 That also works too. That's actually one of my favorite off-white colors, but it's up to you which one you want to do, 9.8 or 9.5. I think we'll do 9.8 for this one here, and then we'll do an off black color, make it equal to UI color, and we'll make it an RGBA value. And that's what when you go and actually add in, or you hear that RGBA, red, green, blue, alpha. Alpha is a transparency. So if you put the alpha to zero point 0.5, it would be half transparent. You could kind of see through it. Okay, we're going to add in a touch location, and we'll make that equal to CG point. And then we're going to add in a variable here. We'll say this is scores equal to 0, and we'll call this countdown timer var. Make that equal to 6 because we're going to count down the timer. And then we're going to do a count up timer. So we're going to go to count, or we'll do countdown timer, and then we'll do top countdown timer. Make that equal to 5 here. Okay. And then lastly, we need a var called touched node. Make it equal to sk node. So we need to store the touch node in a variable here. Okay. So this pretty much sets up our variables here, and in the next tutorial we'll start setting up some of our functionality. This includes the tutorial.